The Sangha, today is March 16, 2006. We are in the Upper Hamlet in the spring retreat. Sitting meditation has this effect that helps us feel comfortable, at ease, and feel free, and feel nourished. In this world of being busy in the modern society, to be able to sit still is a luxury. So whoever that each day they have this chance to sit still, they are very lucky. And we have to treasure this time and this precious opportunity. So the purpose of sitting is to be fully there, fully present in our life. And sitting like that is to practice a miracle. That miracle is to be truly present in our life. While we are sitting, it's very easy for us to practice. Nowhere to go, nothing to do. And we have this time for that. And sitting like this is nourishing, is a kind of food. So when we lacking sitting, it's almost like we lacking food. It becomes a habit. So if you lacking sitting, it's almost like lacking food. But sitting meditation is not just to feel peace and ease, to rest, and to be present and nourished. But sitting is also a chance for us to confront with our difficulties, with our afflictions. Because those difficulties, those sufferings, they are real. We might have difficulty with our parents, or our teachers, or our brothers, sisters, friends, or with society. And when we sit, it could be that we're trying to avoid those difficulties. We're running away. Sitting meditation is not to escape, but is have a chance to confront and resolve these difficulties. Of course, when the bunny goes into its burrow in the ground, it has safety. It's not being hunted or attacked by other animals, so that feelings of security, we have that while we sit. But when the bunny sits for a long time in its hole, it has to go out to get food. It has to confront life. It cannot sit still in its hole for a long time. So it's the same with sitting. If you just sit to find a kind of security and to escape from all the difficult aspects that we're having, then sitting like that is a kind of avoidance. Even if we sit the whole day, it's still avoidance. We find a hole to burrow, to hide inside, to avoid the things that are real in our life. So that's why we should remember that sitting is also a chance for us to confront the difficulties we have. So that way our practice had this ability, this function to uproot our suffering and afflictions. If not, and we can have liberation from them. If not, then sitting can be just a kind of escape and hiding and avoidance. We might get addicted to sitting meditation, but this addiction, it might just be addiction to escape, to not confront with life. Sitting meditation is not just that, you have to go a step further. Live in the Sangha, we might have difficulties in our relationship with other people in the Sangha. And while we're sitting, we can use that time, that training, to find a way to resolve the difficulties we have with others in our Sangha, in our family, or in our society, in our workplace. And like that, sitting is not just avoidance, but it's a chance to confront, to be in front of with our difficulties. The difficulties that we meet in our daily lives, there are opportunities for us to practice with. If we go up to the mountain and sit alone only, so we won't be in touch with others, be in contact, we won't have frustration, envy, or anger, because we just live by ourselves only. And because those mental formations do not manifest, and we think that we don't have any problem. But in the Sangha, there are certain kind of rubbing, certain kind of friction, and we know that we have weaknesses, that we have some problems. We becoming monastics or going to a meditation center is not to escape our difficulties, but to find ways to deal with those difficulties, to face and to transform those sufferings. So instead of we see those difficulties as the hurdles, challenges, We see it as opportunities. In the Sangha of the Buddha back then, there were difficulties and there were envies and anger, and those were written down very clearly in the sutras. There was one monk who was so envious of Sariputra that he did not have a method to transform or to handle it, so he oppressed it. So he started to have these skin problems. First, there were these tiny little and little things on his skin, and then they become bigger from sand, the size of the sand to the size of the corn seeds, and they ooze out pus. And all those skin problems is because he did not have the ability to resolve his difficulties with Sariputra. So there were these many examples in the Sangha that was written down of the problems in the mind expressing in the body. And Ananda was also misunderstood. One time, after the Sangha were donated, were offered many chapatis and bread, and they have extra. So Ananda went to the village to distribute these extra chapati to poor children. So he gave one to each kid. But sometimes he might have mistakenly taken two and given to this one girl, and he was blamed that because that kid was so cute that he gave her 2 chapati breads. So it was written down in the sutras back then, and so that can show that there was all sort of envies and difficulties in the Sangha. The Sangha can be a treasure, but it can also have weaknesses. If we imagine that there's a Sangha, that everyone is wonderful, that no such thing, there's no such Sangha. If in the Sangha there are some people who are determined to practice, there are those who have a big heart, bodhicitta, who if there is brotherly and sisterly love, and there's freshness, and there's practice diligently. So even if in that Sangha there are a couple of people who have sufferings and anger, resentment, but that Sangha is still a treasure. Even if there's negative aspect like that in the Sangha, it gives us a chance to practice. If it's perfect, then there's no chance to practice anything. So to practice is not to go find a place that has no problem. And so to become a monastic is not to find a place with no problems like that. It's a place, it's a chance to transform. So because of those difficulties, we're able to mature and grow and to transform. And we go beyond suffering. If the Sangha is not beautiful as how we expect it to be, so our presence is to make the Sangha more beautiful. Maybe if the Sangha is only 40% beautiful, then with our practice, with our ways of building Sangha, we can help the Sangha to be beautiful from 40% to be 65% beautiful.
Còn nếu mình nói rằng là
if we just say that the Sangha is only 40% beautiful and 60% bad, then I would go find another Sangha. So that means we just benefits from the Sangha, but we're not giving back to the Sangha. We know that the Buddha is a very talented Sangha builder. When he accepted the students, disciples of Mahakassapa, and there were thousands of disciples within a few days. The Buddha was very courageous because there was these thousands of people who follow these fire religions. They're very difficult to teach. But the Buddha, within a few weeks, he was motivated to build that Sangha to become a proper Sangha. Luckily, Mahakassapa and Uravela Kassapa was their teachers, the elder brother. So the Buddha has a very capable assistant. After a few weeks of practicing, learning how to sit, walk, lay down, how to hold the bowl, how to speak lovingly, so the Buddha brought everyone to the mountain Gayasisa, the elephant head mountain, and trained them some more. And during that time, the Buddha gave this Dhamma talk on burning or on the fire. It's the sutra on fire or burning. And after a while, after 2 months, the Sangha of the Buddha seems to be more proper. And that's when the Buddha allowed the Sangha to come to the Rajagaha capital for alms round. There are many foolish mistakes that happened in the Sangha. So that's why the Buddha had those chance to give really wonderful Dhamma talks. Those Dhamma talks is to handle, to open the path, to offer very practical methods of practice, so the monks and nuns have a way to transform and build their brotherhood and sisterhood. And the stronger the Sangha is, the more harmony it has, then its ability to transmit the Dhamma is greater. So the Buddha and his assistant were motivated to build Sangha.
Và đó là cái công tác tu tập căn bản.
Is the basic practice.
Cố nhiên là Đức Thế Tôn và các thầy cũng có những
Of
cái
course,
buổi
the Buddha
thuyết pháp,
and
giảng dạy.
his monks have these days of teachings for the lay people.
Nhưng mà cái công tác căn bản vẫn là
But
công
the
tác
basic
xây dựng
work
thầy.
is still building Sangha.
Khích lệ
And to encourage the practice.
Chúng ta đừng nghĩ rằng là
We should not think
của Đức Thế Tôn
that during the Buddha's time
không có những khó khăn.
that there was no difficulty in the Sangha. Of course there was.
Nhưng mà các thầy như là thầy Sa Lợi Phất, thầy Mục Cần Liên, thầy
Upali or Mahakassapa or Sariputra, they always follow the Sangha and help the Buddha build the Sangha and resolve difficulties.
Ngày xưa trong Tăng Thân có 6 thầy rất là khó chịu.
Back then in the Sangha there were very 6 irritable monks. They did not commit any big offense, so they were not kicked out of the Sangha. But they create a gang of 6. It's called Lục Quần Tỳ Kheo. They're very difficult to handle. I'm not sure why there's 6, but there's also another gang of 6 nuns that were irritable. So that was written down clearly. So don't have the wrong illusion that the Buddha Sangha was perfect. There were difficulties. So that's why the Buddha had the chance to give really wonderful teachings. So we do the same here. The Sangha might have weaknesses. So we have the aspiration to practice so that to help the older brother, sister and teacher to help confront those difficulties and transform them and to make the Sangha more beautiful. So in that way, the work of our Sangha can be easier and more effective. In society, there are many difficult problems, such as anger, violence, competition. In Asia, Middle East, Europe, and based on political pressures or threats, and they use weapons and violence to resolve issues. So it's not very satisfactory situation. In the Sangha, we have a few little problems, and we also have the teachings and ways of practice that are very clear to handle those. And if we cannot handle those little issues, then that's not good. If the Sangha has no issue and there's no big division, big discord, and if the Sangha has only a few little issues,
sự có mặt của mình ở trong
And we
cộng
know that
đồng
our
để xây
presence
dựng tình huynh đệ.
in the Sangha is to build brotherhood and
Quyết tâm xây dựng
sisterhood.
tình huynh đệ
We
thì có thể
determine
vượt
to
thắng một
build
cách rất là dễ dàng.
this brotherhood and sisterhood,
Mình
then we can
giúp cho
overcome
anh
these
chị
challenges very easily, and we become mature, and we can help others to build the Sangha.
Mình có pháp môn lắng nghe.
We have the deep listening
Mình có
method.
pháp môn ái ngữ.
We have the loving speech
Nếu có
method.
một người trong lăng thân
There's a person in the Sangha
đúng theo
that might not behave in accordance with
đúng
my
theo
manners
giáo pháp,
or the Dhamma
đúng theo giới luật,
or the precepts,
thì mình có thể sử dụng
then we can use
pháp môn lắng nghe và ái ngữ
the
đó
deep
để giúp cho
listening
người kia
and loving speech to help this
giúp một
person
cách trực tiếp.
very directly.
Tại vì những người đến với đạo tràng để tu học,
The people who come to the meditation center who want to practice, they have the aspiration
có cái
to
tâm muốn tu học
practice.
rồi thì
So if there's this
phải có
aspiration to practice,
cái
then there's
ước muốn
also
lắng nghe
this
để
wanting
được soi sáng.
to listen, so to be
Nếu mà mình
to
nói
have
với người đó bằng
shine light upon.
ngôn từ hòa ái,
If we talk to this
cùng người
person with
muốn xây dựng
a harmonious tone and words, with the desire to build
có thể là trong quá khứ
community,
mình
then
nói
this
người
person
đó,
can listen easier.
không chịu nghe,
Maybe in the
chỉ chịu
past,
nghe.
you talk to this person, and this person doesn't want to listen or not yet want to listen or get angry, and we get demotivated and we don't want to say anymore,
Mình chịu thua.
and we give up.
Thì như vậy mình là không có một
So
cái ý chí để thực
then
tập.
we don't have this
Tại vì nếu
will
mình
to
không giúp
practice,
người đó được,
because
thì ai giúp người đó?
if we're not able to help that person, who will help that
Mình
person?
phải sử dụng lắng nghe
We
cho
have
đúng
to
mức.
use deep
Mình phải
listening
sử
to
dụng
the
ái ngữ cho
right
đúng mức.
level. We have to use
Và khi
loving
mà
speech to the right level.
cái tình huynh đệ nó có
So when the brotherhood and sisterhood
thì mình có khả năng
is
nói được.
there in between the two of us, then we're able to talk. We're able to give advice.
Mà cái tình huynh đệ đó
And
nó
that
không phải tự nhiên
brotherhood
nó
or
có,
sisterhood,
mình phải xây dựng.
it doesn't just happen all on its own. We have to build it.
Mình phải để ý tới người kia.
We
Mình
have
phải
to
coi người kia
pay
là
attention to the other
anh
person,
của mình, là chị của
seeing
mình,
that this
em của mình.
person is our older brother,
Mình phải hiểu
younger
những khó khăn của
sister,
người kia.
and
Mình
we
phải
have
có
to
cơ hội
understand
chia
this
sẻ,
person
nâng đỡ người kia.
and have opportunities to share and to encourage this person. Then we will have brotherhood and sisterhood. And once we able to have that, we can talk to each other. The reason why we can't talk to each other because we don't have brotherhood and sisterhood yet. So brotherhood and sisterhood is something very specific. If we don't dare to share to another person, then it may be that we might have peace and tranquility on the surface, but then there's no brotherhood or sisterhood on the bottom. Why should I say? If I say something, they will get mad. That's a waste of time. So then that's just a kind of peace and tranquility on the surface only. We don't want just that. And that is too little. It's not enough to nourish us. We need to truly have brotherhood and sisterhood. When we do shining light and we don't dare to say anything, everyone just say all the good things about this person, and no one dares to say any weaknesses about that person. It's because we're afraid. We're afraid this person will get mad at us. So then, this is not diligent, proper practice. And this person is not being helped by us when we don't have the ability to tell this person these things that can help them transform.
Mà sở dĩ chưa nói được là
The reason we are not able to talk, to share yet, because there's no true brotherhood or sisterhood yet.
Chúng ta nói rằng
We say that
bộ phận của chúng ta là xây dựng tăng thân.
responsibility is to build Sangha.
Xây dựng tăng thân như thế nào?
How do each of us build Sangha? What have we done? What are we doing? What are we doing each day to build Sangha? We have to be specific. We have to use the method that's been transmitted to build our Sangha, to build our brotherhood and sisterhood. Do we have time to listen, to understand the other person, to understand their suffering, their pain? If we don't have time to listen and understand, then we're not really practicing. We're not practicing to build Sangha. We're not practicing to build brotherhood and sisterhood. Because that person is our older brother, younger sister. And when we see that in the Sangha, this person and that person are one, then we have to see the difficulties of that person is our own difficulties. Their sadness is our sadness. And we know that whenever we use loving speech, then we are able to open the heart of that person and we listen to them. We're able to listen, and that person has this chance to tell their own pain, suffering, and difficulties. Do we spend time in our day to do that? So to sit and listen and encourage the other person, that is the practice. So when we sit, we might have a clearer idea about the methods, how to help the other person. So that kind of sitting meditation is a bit more positive. It's not just to find your own peace and tranquility for your own sake only, just like the bunny goes into his hole for his security only. So that bunny find a way to live his daily life, to be able to eat and not just go into a hole. In my experience, when we have time to sit down and listen to the other person, then we're able to establish a lot of sympathy, a lot of understanding. And when we talk with all of our love and care, then the other person has this chance to really accept what we say. So that's the true practice. If we just say, why should I talk to that person so they get angry at me? That's not the practice. That is because we have not trained, we have not put practice into build the Sangha, to build brotherhood and sisterhood. We know that brotherhood and sisterhood has this capability to be very nourishing. From the Dhamma teachers to brothers and sisters, each person should sit together and ask ourselves, in my daily life, how am I building Sangha? How am I building brotherhood and sisterhood? How specifically
mà chỉ nói.
Or is it just us wishing and wanting and talking about only?
Một cái ánh mắt, một cái nụ cười, một cái bàn
A
tay,
smile, a hands touching, our eyes looking.
cái khả năng xây dựng
Each of that can have the ability to build Sanghahood.
ví dụ như trong một buổi mình ngồi thiền,
For example, during sitting meditation,
tối hay là sáng,
at morning or at night, we should give ourselves a questions.
nếu thầy hỏi mình
If Thay ask us,
trong một số ngày như thế này,
how do
thì
we
trả lời như thế nào?
how do we build Sangha in our daily life? How would we answer that? Do we truly practice building Sangha?
Có những người tươi mát, có những ngọt ngào,
People who are fresh and
thì
sweet,
mình thừa hưởng.
and we benefit
Có
from
những
them.
người không được tươi mát,
And there are other people who are not so fresh and they're still more irritable, so we avoid them. So are we really building Sangha?
mình không có lòng từ bi,
We don't have compassion.
mình không có ý chí tu tập.
We don't have this motivation to practice. We just want
Trời yên biển lặng thôi.
that everything is nice and calm.
Thành ra từ các vị
So
giáo thọ
the Dharma teachers
xuống tất cả sư em,
to
mọi người phải
the younger brother and sister, each person had to sit
viết xuống,
sit down
coi là
and write down,
mình xây dựng tăng thân như thế nào, mình xây
how
dựng
am I building Sangha?
mình có tìm cách tránh né không, mình
Do I avoid?
mình thực sự thương,
Do I truly love and care?
mình có khả năng
Do I have the ability to
đối diện với những khó khăn
to
không?
confront the difficulties? Or we just want the sweetness and the freshness and the ease only?
Và khi mà đã thấy được rõ rồi,
When we're able to see clearly
thấy được rõ ràng là cái gì mình phải làm và cái gì
what
mình
we
không
need
phải
to
làm,
do and what we
thì
should not
cứ theo
do,
đó mình làm.
then we just follow that and do it.
Trong những cái buổi thiền tọa hay là
In
buổi thiền
Dharma
hành,
discussions or
mình không cảm thấy rằng là mình đi tìm cái sự
sitting, and we feel that we're looking
yên lành riêng cho mình nữa.
for just a kind of a peace and ease for ourselves only. But if we see that we're in harmony with the Sangha, we sit and we walk for the Sangha, then our happiness will truly be great. The practice at Plum Village is a continuous practice, and the stillness and refuge while we have during sitting or walking meditation, we also have that during the time we are not in sitting meditations or walking meditation. For example, when we eat, we also have that stillness and happiness, just like when we're doing sitting. Or when we're cooking the meal,
Mình thuộc về cái đội nấu cơm ngày hôm nay.
if we're in the cooking team
Làm thế nào
today,
để cho
so
những cái giờ làm việc ở trong bếp
how do we do so that the time we're in the kitchen, chopping veggie, washing, cooking,
thì mình cũng có được cái sự bình an,
and that we can also have peace and ease and freedom during those times?
từ ngồi là thảnh thơi, đi là thảnh thơi,
Because sitting is
thì làm việc nó cũng
ease
phải thảnh
and
thơi.
freedom, walking is ease and
Mình có thể
freedom.
cho thêm nửa
So
giờ
working
nữa,
is also ease and
làm
freedom.
giờ nữa cho nó rộng rãi
We
thời
might
gian để có thể
add
làm
a
tăng
bit
hơn.
extra half an hour
Và trong cái nhà bếp
or an
á,
hour so we can
hay là
have
trong
more
cái
ease,
vườn rau á,
so that our work in the kitchen or in the garden
tập ở trong thiền
is like that. It's just the same as
tại vì mình làm
in the meditation hall.
mình có thể làm một cách
When
thành
we
thơi,
work, we can work in a
an lạc, hạnh
with
phúc.
ease,
Mình
peace,
không làm một
ease.
cách hấp tấp
We do not rush
để cho nó mau xong.
and just to get it done quickly and over with.
Và khi mình luộc rau,
When we boil the veggie or fry the
có
tofu,
được cái sự an lạc
we also
và mình có trong
have
thiền
peace
thành công.
and ease, as in we are doing sitting meditation. Then we can be successful.
Có lần thầy nói rằng là
One
mình cần
time,
mấy trái cà chua.
I said we
Mình
need
biết rằng ngoài vườn á,
a few
có cà
tomatoes, and we know that in the garden we have tomatoes,
chua. Và mình đi ra ngoài vườn để mình
and we
hái.
go outside in the garden to pick the tomatoes.
Thì mình đi từ đây ra
And
vườn,
we
mình đi
walk
một
from
sao cho
here
mỗi bước chân
to
nó
the
thành thơi.
garden. We walk in a way that each steps is peace, ease,
Cái mình
joyful, and
cần
happy.
là cà chua.
Of course, what we need is the tomato.
Là trong
And
cái
what we
làm
really
hái cà chua.
needs most is
Ngoài đời
our
có biết
peace
bao nhiêu
and
người đi hái
ease
cà chua.
when we go to pick the tomato.
Tu,
There's so many people
cũng đi hái cà
picking
chua. Nhưng mà
tomatoes,
hái cà chua nó khác hơn.
but the way of a practitioner picking a tomato is different. We walk out to the garden with the steps and ease and freedom. And we have the tomato in our hands, and we know that it's a miracle when with mindfulness. So we have these steps of freedom. And this freedom is no different from the freedom we have when we are sitting. There's no rushing, there's no pushing, walking upstairs or downstairs. When we lift something into our car, lifting something off our car, we can do it with all of our freedom and ease. We do it in a way so that we're not rushing about, not wanting to get something done right away. Freedom in each moment. Be in control of ourselves in each moment. So that's the practice. If we're just sitting to find security and safety, because while we're sitting, no one orders us about to ask us to talk or do anything.
Khi tôi xếp một cái tờ giấy,
when I fold a piece of paper,
mình có thể theo dõi hơi thở.
We can follow our breathing while we're folding.
Khi mình lấy cây bút, mình
When
dán vào
we
mực, rồi mình vẽ cái vòng tròn.
put our pen into the ink and we draw a circle.
Có thể là những lúc rất là mầu nhiệm.
And these can be very
với hơi thở vào, hơi thở ra.
miraculous moments. Make a circle with the breathing in and the breathing out. It's very wonderful. And if we write out, I have arrived, I'm home, it's also a miracle because I can feel that I am truly arriving, I am truly home while I'm writing those phrases. So it's not that I write a calligraphy just to have a beautiful calligraphy only. To have a beautiful calligraphy is nice, but while we're doing the calligraphy, we're just rushing and want it to be beautiful, and we don't have peace and joy. We're not arriving home, then we lose everything. 60 or 70% of the time. So we go to the garden to pick tomato. Our most important goal is not just to get to have a tomato, but it's to have peace and freedom. So, dear Sangha, please think about this carefully. There are many things we do in our day. It's not that we have to do everything that on that list to get it done and then we can practice. But while we're doing those tasks, we have these opportunities to practice. And that's where it's difficult to have freedom and ease in every moment. It's easy to have peace and ease while we do walking meditations, but when we go to the grocery store, we also have peace and freedom. So we can remind each other. And the principle here is to be continuous each day like that. And if you want, sometimes you can designate a day where you really try to do this. A tradition that they, like every 15 days, they have a night that they sit so that they don't fall asleep all night sitting. So we are the same. Sometimes we choose a day, a lazy day, and we're determined to practice. The morning to the afternoon, we have to be able to do this. While we are brushing our teeth, we have to brush our teeth in a way that we have ease and freedom. If not, we are not wasting the time. If we just wash the veggie to only have a clean veggie, then it's a waste. If we wash the dishes only to have clean dishes, that's a bit of a waste. If we just go just to get somewhere, it's a bit of a waste. So while we wash dishes, we have to have peace and freedom. And that's the great aspiration of a practitioner, not just to have clean dishes. In our lay life, there's a lot of people who wash dishes to have clean dishes to eat. So as a practitioner, we have to have peace and freedom while we are washing dishes. Not just to have clean dishes only. It would be a waste. So that's the important questions here. If we pick tomato just to only have tomato, then it's a waste. We wash veggie only to have clean veggie to eat, that's a waste. The most important thing is when we pick tomato or wash dishes or veggie, we have to have ease and happiness. And this habit energy of rushing around cannot control us, and we still have peace and freedom. And sometimes we have to give ourselves a day that within this one day I have to be able to do this. And we're able to do that one day, then we can make efforts in other days. When we see that we can take refuge and live our life in that peace and freedom, then our brother and sister can see that we are the bell of mindfulness for them. Without diligent and deep practice like that, there is a respect, so what we say, other people will listen. Because we talk on the basis of our practice. We talk about the things that we're doing and have already been doing. If not, we are losing the time. We say that we are building brotherhood or sisterhood, but we're not building it. We say ease and freedom in each moment, but we don't have ease and freedom in each moment. Sitting meditation is easy. Or going to the market to buy veggie. And we come back home and we have peace and ease. That is the practice. And those are all the opportunities. We don't just say, I thought I become monastic so I don't have to do those things. So I don't have to go grocery shopping. But as a monastic, I still have to go grocery shopping and cook. There was a philosopher who came and asked the Buddha, what are you teaching? What is your principle, the idea behind your teaching? And after he asked that question, he was passed. This is wrong, but the idea, he asked, what are you doing each day? The Buddha said, we sit, walk, stand, do laundries. And that person said, well, there's no difference. And as lay people, we also sit, walk, stand, do laundry. But the Buddha said, no, there's a difference. Because when we walk in freedom and with mindfulness. We sit with mindfulness and freedom. We do laundry with freedom and mindfulness. And the same with washing dishes. So there's that difference. We go to a meditation center and we become monastics. It's truly to learn this. We do the same as other people, but we do with mindfulness. And we should have improvement after a week. Don't say that I have improvement after a month or a year. Who is the person that witnessed our improvement? It's not our teacher. It's not the Dhamma teacher, but it's whether I am having improvement or not. We know it ourselves. When we see our brother and sister and we see that whether they have improvements, we can also see that too. And the brotherhood and sisterhood and the trust and respect for each other is improved because of that practice. It's not due to the talent of that person. In lay life, there's many people with talents, but they also have a lot of sufferings. So this is not the matter of having talents or not, but it's happiness. Happiness from the faith in our practice. The method of meditation tự tứ has been transmitted down. Each person wants to be shine light upon so they know their weaknesses. So each person should have they have a request to ask the Sangha to shine light on them. And if we truly want to be shine light upon, we need to have the ability to listen. If not, no one wants to shine light. If other people shine light and we get angry, then who wants to shine light on us? So while we shining light, there might be some weaknesses. Maybe the person is being shined light upon, and the thing that the Sangha shine light upon, it might be 90% correct.
không có khả năng lắng nghe.
And the person has the ability to listen to. But if the person doesn't have this ability to listen, then the Sangha doesn't dare to say all the difficulties, so then what they shine light on can only be 30 or 40% correct, so it can be a waste of time for the person in the Sangha. Shining light is a beautiful transformative practice, and if we're not able to perform that, then it is a waste. So the difficulties in the Sangha can be small compared to the outside world. In spring, we have spring cleaning, so we should have the aspiration, motivation to have our Sangha to be clean. It's not, it's refresh and new before our bigger retreats. Our 21-day retreats, our summer retreats, or autumn retreats. Linji, our teacher, said that we are a practitioner. We have to know a way to be in control of ourselves. It means that we don't think that we are the victim of what other people do. If we see we're the victim, the other person or of the Sangha, then we don't have an active role in the Sangha anymore. Tùy xứ tác chủ, it means that in any situation, we still stay in an active role. It's very beautiful.
Tùy xứ
tác chủ. Tùy xứ, it means
trong bất cứ một cái
in any
môi trường nào,
environment, any situation,
dầu cái hoàn cảnh đó
even if
nó có
that
những khó khăn,
situation has difficulties
nó có những cái phức tạp,
and complexities,
thì mình vẫn giữ được.
we still able to keep
thế làm chủ của mình.
Our active role in control.
Mình không có trở thành bị động.
We do not become passive.
Mình nói tại vì
we say it's because they are like that, that's why I'm like this.
Tại sao anh co rút người lại? Tại sao anh trốn chạy?
Why are we
không có làm gì hết?
Running away? Why are you withdrawing? Why you don't do anything?
Cho nên tôi mới phải vậy.
It's because they're like that, that's why I'm like this.
Cái đó là đứng về phía bị động.
Standing in a passive stance. And our teacher taught us that if there are some negativities, weaknesses in us, we don't become passive. They say that there are few weaknesses, so I am here so that these weaknesses won't be there anymore. We know that what am I doing? My presence and my practice has the function to transform that. And that is in the active stance. It's not that we've been in control of all the other people.
Wherever you are, you don't feel like a victim.
Wherever you are, you don't feel like a victim. We have this positive attitude.
Và khi mà mình có cái thái độ tùy xứ tác chủ rồi thì
when we have this positive, active attitude,
mình cần phải đi, mình cần nghĩ mình phải đi tìm cái chỗ
we don't have to think like I need to go find somewhere else where people are nicer. But I'm determined to transform, to build the Sangha, to help other people to transform.
tổ dạy.
That's what the founding teacher taught us.
Sự có mặt của một người
The presence of one person
trong cái hoàn cảnh đó,
in that situation,
nó thay đổi hoàn cảnh.
it can change the situation.
Thánh nhân mà xuất hiện ở đâu,
Wherever there's a great being,
thì cỏ chỗ đó nó xanh hơn,
And
chỗ đó nó trong hơn,
then
còn
the
nước ở
water
đó
is
nó ngọt hơn.
clearer, sweeter, the grass is
Đó là cái niềm
greener.
tin của người Á Đông.
So
Khi
that's
mà có
the
một vị thánh nhân
belief
xuất hiện,
of
thì
Asians.
cái năng lượng lành
Whenever
nó chuyển
there's
đổi
this great being is there, then there's this
Thì mình
transformational
phải là
power
người đó.
around them.
với sự thực tập của mình, sự có mặt
So
của mình
with our
trong cái hoàn cảnh
practice,
đó,
our
thay đổi
presence
được cái hoàn cảnh.
within that situation can change the situation
Và mình
to
phải
make
đứng
it
về phía
better.
chủ động.
So we have to stand in the active role
Ta có mặt ở đây,
that
ta
I'm
phải làm
here,
sao
I'm present,
cho sự có mặt của ta
so that my presence
nó chuyển đổi được tình trạng.
can transform the situation.
Và mình đứng về phía chủ động.
And
Và
we
đứng về phía chủ động
stay
thì không bao giờ có
in
tư
the
tưởng rút
active
lui hay là
role.
chạy trốn đi chỗ khác.
There's no idea of running away, of withdrawing.
Và Tổ cũng dùng 4 cái chữ gọi là
The
lập
teacher
xứ đắc chân.
also use the word lập xứ đắc chân.
Đắc chân. Mình ở vào trong cái môi trường nào, trong cái hoàn cảnh
We
nào,
stay in a situation or
Mình đứng ở đâu?
environment. Where are we
mình
standing?
ngồi ở đâu, mình có mặt ở đâu.
Sitting. Where are we present at?
Hoàn cảnh tốt, hoàn cảnh xấu,
Good
thì
situation
mình
or
vẫn
bad
giữ được cái con
situation,
người thật
we
của mình.
still keep our true person, our true self.
Mình ngồi riêng một mình trong
We
phòng,
sit
mình cũng là
alone
người đó.
in ourselves in a room.
Mình ngồi với một
truly
người bạn thân
there.
thì mình cũng là con người đó.
We
Mình
sit
ra với
with the
công chúng,
Sangha,
mình
we
cũng vẫn
still
là con người đó.
the same person. We out
Không có
interacting
gì
with
lạ.
other people, we still
có
the
nhiều
same
mặt nạ.
person.
Để khi gặp
We
người
do
này
not
thì
wear
mang
many
mặt nạ
different
này.
masks.
Khi gặp người kia thì
One
mang mặt nạ
person
kia.
we wear this mask,
Lập xứ
another
đắc chân.
person we wear another mask.
Trong cái bài pháp thoại
In
giao
the
thừa năm nay
thì
mình có nói
New Year Dharma
cái
talk,
tình trạng Việt Nam, và trong đó
we talk
nhiều
about the
người
situation in
trong
Vietnam
chính quyền,
when many
trong
people in the
xã hội,
government
trong giáo hội
and in the
đều
Buddhist
có hai mặt nạ.
Buddhist association, they have two masks.
Và tùy theo lúc thì mang
Depends
mặt
on
nạ
the
này,
time they wear this mask.
tùy theo lúc khác thì mang
Depend
mặt nạ
on the
này.
time
Đó là
they
một
wear
cái
another
điểm
mask.
tiêu cực của đất nước.
So that's a negative
sợ
aspect
nhau.
in the
Chúng ta nghi ngờ
country
nhau.
because we are afraid of each
Và vì
other
vậy chúng ta phải có
We
những cái
wear
mặt nạ
mask.
khác nhau.
and we have to wear different masks.
Ban đầu
In the
thì mình nói
beginning,
rằng là mình phải
we
linh động.
say that we have to be flexible.
Đi với Phật thì mình
If we
mặc
go
áo
with the
sa.
Buddha, we
Đi
wear
với
the
ma
Buddha's
thì mình
robe.
phải mặc áo giấy.
If we go with the
Ban đầu thì
monster
nói như
or
vậy.
ghost, we have to wear
Phải
the
linh động,
paper robe.
phải uyển
In
chuyển.
the beginning, we said we have to be flexible and adaptable.
Đi với ma phải nói giọng ma.
So if we go with the monster, we have to
Ai
talk
về
in
nói
monster
giọng ma một hồi
language.
thì mình
And we talk in that
quen, mình
language
nói
for a
giọng ma luôn.
while, then we
Mà đi với Phật
forgot
mình cũng nói
and we
giọng ma
keep
luôn.
doing it. So even if
Nó
we
rất
walk
là
with
nguy
the
hiểm.
Buddha, we talk in monster language. It's very dangerous.
Muốn cho thành công đó.
We want to be successful.
Thành ra mình nói
So
chiều
we
theo
say
ý của người đó.
we follow the
Mình nói theo cái sở thích
preferences
của họ.
of
Mình
that
nói giống như
person,
là
what they
mình
want.
rất là thích cái đường lối của họ.
We say as
Nhưng
if
mà trong
we
bụng mình
really
không
like
phải
the
như
way
vậy.
of
Ban
being,
đầu mình
but
muốn nói
in
chiều như
our
vậy
heart,
để
we
cho có
don't.
cảm tình rồi sau
In the
mình chịu
beginning,
người
we
đó.
want to do that
Là
so
mình-
they like us.
Mình mặc áo giấy một hồi thì mình thành
But
ma
if we
luôn.
wear this monster robe for a while, we become a monster.
Và Tổ không có muốn như vậy.
And
Tổ
our
mình
teacher
muốn mình
didn't
linh
want
động,
us to do
mình,
that, to be
uyển chuyển
flexible
cái cách đó.
in that way. We use this excuse of this is skillful means. So that's why sometimes we wear the Buddha's robe, sometimes we wear the paper robe. In Vietnam, they believe that they love their ancestor, the one who passed away. So they think that if they pass away, and every year we're afraid that they're cold, so we would send clothes to them. So how do you send clothes to hell? We have to burn it. So we have to make the clothes out of paper to burn it. So that's why the ghost and the monster wear paper clothes. So if you go with the ghost and monster, you wear paper clothes. We have to be ourselves. Wherever we are always ourselves, or true person. We always have that ability that we are our true selves. In our individual life, our family life, society life, we are just this one same person. And we don't have many faces like that. And in the beginning, people might not like it, but after a while they see your true person, and they start to love and care us and respect us. And we don't have to wear a mask. So our teacher loved us and showed us the way, so we should follow this. And if the whole Sangha practice together following this principle, then the transformation can happen very quickly, and the brother and sisterhood will be built very quickly, and the Sangha become beautiful. We have to set an example for others. We have to connect to others so that we can have enough strength to do this work. If we don't help each other, who will? We have to have courage. We have to be ourselves. Do not run away. Do not be scared. Then we can be successful in our work of building the Sangha and brotherhood and sisterhood.